Good morning and welcome back to our final fabulous segment here on CityLine. I'm having a good time with these people, you can tell already. And we're going to talk about the Job Carr Pioneer Days Festival. I love that park. I love that cabin. I love the concerts. I love everything that happens in that area. So let's find out what's going to happen next. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Holly Stewart. Hello, love.
Good morning.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
For folks that don't know, you are the program manager of that little cabin that could, the Job Carr Museum. It really is a gem. It's so sparkly. I mean, I always pray that the light stops right there, so I get like right there, so I can like stop and look. I just love it. I feel like I'm kind of like back in Williamsburg looking at that. You know, it's fabulous. You brought with you our beloved executive director. We were laughing about your last name, Christopher Ubelhar. Ubelhar. Tell him what it means.
It could mean either hard of hearing, doesn't listen so good, or evil Lord.
And my response was, thanks, Mom and Dad. What a great last name. I'm going to remember this. So, Christopher, on that note, tell us about the Job Carr Cabin Museum for people who don't know what that beautiful little cabin is.
Sure. So we're the little cabin in Old Town Park, and we are a small museum that is a replica of the first permanent non-native residence in Tacoma, and the original was built by a man named Job Carr. Our cabin is open to the public as a small living history museum, but it's also really a dynamic educational resource for the community. So our main mission is educational outreach for elementary school students. And so we do traveling trunks that go out to dozens of schools in Tacoma and Pierce County. I think 3,300 kids experienced a traveling trunk last year. And then we also host field trips, of course, to our cabin. And 1,600 kids came last year for field trips. So we're a small museum doing a lot of things.
Way to go. How long have you been the executive director?
Just about 2 years.
Gee, not that you haven't accomplished a lot in 2 years. That's impressive. I mean, I have drove by and I've seen during schools and session time the kids in there, and I am just like, yes, because it's that whole thing. If you don't know our history, you're doomed to repeat it. And you want to repeat the good things about our history, but we also want our kids to know who Job Carr was. So tell us, who was Job Carr?
Sure, and I think Job Carr was a good thing about our history as well, I should say. But Job Carr is Tacoma's first permanent non-native resident, and he's, you could say, Tacoma's pioneer founder, or the founder of the city of Tacoma as we know it. Job Carr came out to the Puget Sound in 1864 looking for where they might terminate the transcontinental railroad. He was speculating that it would end right here, and he'd build this cabin, and it would start a city, and then the railroad would come, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah.
And so he was a Civil War veteran, came out here on the Oregon Trail in true pioneer sense, and built his cabin and got things going from there.
Incredible. Is the cabin haunted?
I don't think so, no.
Darn. No. Okay, we'll have to work on that answer, okay? So let's talk about, Miss Holly, the Pioneer Days Festival. So first off, what is it, and then what can people do?
Sure. So Pioneer Days, this is our 10th annual Pioneer Days Festival.
You have it under your belt at this point.
And it is a free community festival that is great for all ages. And so we basically take over Old Town Park with about 20 different activity stations for kids and families, things that we aren't able to bring out on an average museum day, but we can bring them out for this. And so we have gunny sack races going on and tug of war in the park. We're doing arts and crafts activities, kids learning how to hammer a nail. Like, when was the last time?
Who would think we'd have to say that? But we do.
We do. And so kids get to try out all sorts of fun things and also practical things. And besides hammering nails, they can wash clothes the old-fashioned way with a washboard and wringer.
Yes.
Kids love this. If we had to do it every day,
we wouldn't love it.
Complain about it as a chore, but as a fun activity once in a while, it's super fun and the kids can't get enough.
I just had this flash of a thought bubble. You know, in 20 years, we're going to be sitting here and going, and then we have a rotary phone. We're going to teach the kids how to dial a phone. So I can just imagine, I mean, the children who didn't know about gunny sack races or a tug of war, because that's not something that's everyday life anymore for our little digital natives. So good on you for putting that back out there. Is there food? Is there music? Are there things to drink?
Absolutely. So we have 2 amazing bands playing this year. So Podarhythmy is a French-Canadian style band, and they have this special thing called a cranky, which is like a precursor to the television. And so it's got a screen that rolls across that they turn with the pictures that go along with the music and the dancing that they're doing. And it's this really creative storytelling.
Cranky.
It's amazing.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, and one of the activities is kids can make their own version of the cranky and do their own storytelling piece. And then we also have Cosmo's Dream, which is coming this year, and they do some wonderful folk music as well. We will have Bliss ice cream there.
Yum.
Because you have to have ice cream.
Yes.
And Sweetly Spun Cotton Candy is joining us this year. And then, of course, Anthem Coffee Shop is right there in the park as well. So they would be happy to, fulfill your coffee and drink orders.
You guys have thought of everything kind of old-fashioned and beautiful of the yesteryear. I love that. So is there a fee for this event?
No, this is a free event.
What a gift.
And when you arrive, we ask that you sign in at our information booth, and kids can pick up a passport that when they go to each of the activity stations, they'll get a sticker. And then if they do a certain number of stickers, they can get a coloring book to take home at the end.
Oh my gosh, so well thought out. Boy, I mean, because after 10 years, it's a congratulations that it's happened for 10 years. It's also an invitation for both of you to keep this fresh and new, because it is hard to keep the attention of youth today when you are competing with this. So well done. Okay, Mr. Christopher, let's talk about, if people can't make it to the festival, can they visit the cabin outside of that?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
We're open weekly, Wednesday through Saturday, Wednesday through Friday, 11 to 4, and Saturdays 12 to 4, and so and that's every month except for January. We're open.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about, so how is this beautiful cabin funded?
We're funded through various sources, including corporate sponsorships, private donations from individuals. We're also funded through foundation grants, which is a very important part of that.
Yeah.
And we have some fundraisers too. Upcoming October 17th, we have our annual Eureka breakfast fundraiser.
Okay, so in case I don't get you back on the comfy couch before that, what is the Eureka fundraising breakfast?
Sure, we go to the Summit Club at Cheney Stadium, and we invite local business professionals, our supporters and sponsors, just to kind of thank everyone, tell everyone what we've done in the past year and all the great things we've accomplished. And it's just a nice way to get to know the cabin, and then it's also a fundraiser for us.
Fabulous. Is there pancakes involved?
I believe we have scrambled eggs.
Okay.
And potatoes.
All right, I'm in. You mentioned scrambled eggs, and I am totally in. We were showing some pictures as you were talking, Christopher, about different kinds of outreach programs that the cabin has. And I have to say, Holly, it makes my teacher heart so happy that there are students coming through that cabin. Are there any other forms of outreach we want to talk about before we have to say goodbye?
So besides our school programs, we also do early learning programs.
Oh.
We do story times, which are also all of our museum, the admission, and our events are free for kids and families and schools to participate. And because of our generous donations from sponsors and grantees. We also have a history walk coming up on the 21st.
Ooh.
So if you want to learn more about Old Town history and the women of Old Town,
Absolutely.
you can come and join that. And then, of course, we do our craft Saturdays every second Saturday, which is a fun arts and crafts thing that's seasonal. And in December, we'll have Santa.
Oh my gosh. And then you start the year all over again. That is impressive. So, Christopher, this may seem like a kind of a benign question, but let's ask it. People who are watching right now, how can they support the cabin?
There's lots of ways you can support the cabin. You can come in and visit us and tell everyone about what you've seen. That's the most important thing, I think. But we also have ways to, on Facebook and on our website, if you're interested in donating to the cabin, you can do it that way as well.
And volunteers?
Absolutely. We rely on some amazing volunteers to help us keep the doors open, to provide all of our outreach programming, including Pioneer Days Festival. So if you want to participate and be behind the scenes volunteer, we'd be happy to have you there as well.
I love that, because you run a very close to the bone operation, as we say. There's not a whole lot of people that couldn't be on the couch today to talk about this. So volunteer away, people. Who do we need to thank?
Well, we need to thank our amazing volunteers.
And we have several sponsors this year. Our main sponsor is Corona Steel, and we've had a really generous grant from Humanities Washington. We've also have some new sponsors this year: Neil Walter Company, Collision Specialists, Laboratories Northwest, and then some great in-kind sponsors: Slavonian Hall, just right next door on North 30th. Bellina Interiors, Sprague Pest Control, and also another sponsor is Old Town Business and Professional Association.
Perfect. I want to thank the two of you so much for your work 24/7, 365. That little cabin museum it now does. And I say thank you so much. History is so important for all learners to be able to walk through it and experience it. And when someone says, "Do you know what a Ringer washer machine is?" they say yes, because I went to Pioneer Days. And therefore I appreciate technology even more. Thank you, both of you, for the great work that you do. And let's get you back on the couch real soon. Deal?
Thanks so much.
All right. Well, that wraps up another great segment of CityLine. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be in your home. We've given you some really great things to think about in this past hour, so go out there, be a part of the process, and pay it forward. And when you come back, as always, we'll be waiting for you right here at CityLine. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle, Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home, from the fires to the loam. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from the easy